Hello children, I hope you're staying safe at home. To continue with chemical changes and reaction, today I'm going to talk about thermal decomposition. If you remember in the last upload, I did talk about decomposition reaction, which was a reaction in which a compound splits into two or more simpler substances. Okay, so when we talk about a decomposition reaction, we are talking about a reaction where a compound breaks down into simpler substances. And when we are talking about thermal decomposition, so what do we need to break down the compounds? We need heat. So thermal means heat, decomposition means to break down into smaller pieces. Okay, now decomposition of compounds of metals are based on their reactivity. So this series that you see here, I have written down the names of the metals according to their reactivity. That means the potassium, which is here right at the top, is the most reactive, and silver, which is right below, is the least reactive. Okay, so when we talk about thermal decomposition of metal hydroxides, so what are we talking about? We are talking about the hydroxides of these metals, that is potassium hydroxide, sodium hydroxide, calcium hydroxide, magnesium hydroxide, aluminum hydroxide, zinc hydroxide, iron hydroxide, lead hydroxide, copper hydroxide, mercuric hydroxide, silver hydroxides. So if we heat these metal hydroxides, you will see according to their reactivity, potassium and sodium are very strong metals. Okay, so these hydroxides, when we heat, you will see nothing will happen to it. That means they are stable to heat. Okay, now moving on to the metals from calcium to copper, you will see when we heat the hydroxides, it will decompose. What will it form? It will form metal oxide plus water vapor. Okay, if I write G, that is gas, means it is water vapor. Okay, so that means if we heat calcium hydroxide, we will get calcium oxide and water vapor. Similarly, if we heat copper hydroxide, what will we get? 2 will be outside, sorry, copper oxide and water vapor. Similarly, if you heat any of the hydroxides of the metals in this group, what will you get? You will get the metal oxide and water vapor. Moving down to the least reactive metals, that is mercury and silver, when you heat, you will see that when you heat what? You have to heat the, what are we heating? We are heating the metal hydroxide, either mercuric hydroxide or silver hydroxide. Okay, so what will you get? Metal, oxygen and water vapor again. Okay, it is a gas. So if we heat silver oxide, what are we getting? Metal, only metal here is silver, plus oxygen, plus water vapor. Of course, you need to balance. So 4 year, 4 year and 2 year. So this is the balance equation. I've already told you balancing is very, very important because you don't get marks for unbalanced equations even in ICSE. Okay, so go through the table that is given on page number 25 and please practice the equations there. Okay, now moving on to metal carbonates. Okay, similarly we make table. The most reactive is potassium, then is sodium, which forms one group, then we have calcium, magnesium, aluminium, then we have zinc. Okay, then we have iron, then we have lead, copper, mercury and silver. These metals are arranged okay, according to their activities. It's also known as the activity series of metals. We'll be learning about that a little bit later. Okay, so now we are going to heat carbonates of these metals. Okay, carbonates. So that means, what are we talking about? We are talking about potassium carbonate, sodium carbonate. So again, what happens? Potassium and sodium carbonate, they are stable to heat. They will not decompose on heating. Okay, now as we move down again to this set of metals, from calcium to copper, you will see it decomposes on heating with decreasing vigor to form metal oxide and carbon dioxide. So what will be formed? Metal oxide and carbon dioxide, because remember, carbonates has carbon dioxide as its negative radical. So that means if we heat magnesium carbonate, supposing, what do we get? Metal oxide, magnesium oxide, and carbon dioxide. Or if we take zinc carbonate, what do we get? Metal oxide, that is zinc oxide, and carbon dioxide, and so on. And then moving on to the least reactive elements, that is mercury and silver. If we heat silver carbonate or mercury carbonate, we'll get the metal. Silver will get oxygen gas and carbon dioxide. So balancing it, 2, 4, 2. Okay. Now moving on to bicarbonates. What are bicarbonates? Bicarbonates are metal, hydrogen, carbonate. Okay. So here, when metal bicarbonates are heated, it decomposes to give the metal carbonate, water vapor, and carbon dioxide. So here there are 3 bicarbonates I have taken. So when we heat it, we are talking about thermal decomposition. So what will we get? We will get the carbonate, metal carbonate. So in this case, the metal is sodium. Then we get water and carbon dioxide. Okay, to balance, we put a 2 in front here. Similarly, moving on to calcium bicarbonate, for thermal decomposition, when we heat it, we will get the carbonate, calcium carbonate, because the metal here is calcium. Okay, and then we will get water vapor and carbon dioxide. Similarly, thermal decomposition of magnesium bicarbonate, we'll get the metal carbonate, because the metal here again is magnesium. We'll get water vapor and carbon dioxide. Okay, so next we move on to thermal decomposition of metal nitrates. Okay, so in the same way, we have a list of the metals according to their reactivity. So we are talking about the metal nitrate, potassium nitrate, sodium nitrate, calcium nitrate, magnesium nitrate, aluminum nitrate, zinc nitrate, and so on. Okay, so what happens when we heat the nitrates of these metals? So first we have potassium and sodium. Previously you saw till carbonates how they were stable to heat. Now they are not stable. When they are heated, they melt and they decompose to give metal nitrite and oxygen. Okay, that means if we heat potassium nitrate, what will you get? The metal nitrite, potassium nitrite, NO2, 1 less oxygen. Okay, plus oxygen will be given out. when we balance, we put 2 here, we put 2 here. Okay. Similarly, sodium, if we take sodium nitrate, we heat it, we get sodium nitrite and oxygen. Now moving on to the next set of metals from calcium to copper, you will see that they decompose on heating to form metal oxide, nitrogen dioxide and oxygen. Okay. Now nitrogen dioxide is reddish brown in color. Children, these colors are very, very important. Okay. The test. Okay. What you observe. If you get what you observe, what is your observation, you will see the formation of reddish brown gas, reddish brown fumes. Okay. So if we heat the nitrates of any of these metals in the set, supposing say zinc nitrate, what will you get? You'll get the metal oxide. What is the metal here? Zinc. So you'll get zinc oxide plus reddish brown fumes of nitrogen dioxide plus oxygen. So we balance. Okay, similarly, you go through all the equation that is on page number 25, 26. The tables are given there, the boxes are given there. So there, whatever equations you see, please practice. Okay, similarly, calcium nitrate will give calcium oxide, nitrogen dioxide and oxygen, or copper nitrate will give copper oxide plus nitrogen dioxide plus oxygen. So what is the color of nitrogen dioxide gas? It is reddish brown in color. Children, this is very, very, very important. The colors are very important even for your ICSE. Okay. Now moving on to the last two metals in this activity series, you will see that if these mercuric nitrate or silver nitrate, they are heated, it forms the metal, then nitrogen dioxide and oxygen. I think you've noticed this till now. When we move to the last two metals, either carbonates or hydroxides, or now we are talking about nitrates, the metal will be released. Okay, please keep these things in mind. Supposing we heat silver nitrate, thermal decomposition reaction, you'll get the metal, that is the silver, and then you'll get nitrogen dioxide, reddish brown fumes plus oxygen. Okay, so when we balance, we'll put 2 here, 2 here and 2 here. Okay, we'll do till here today, children. In the next upload, we are going to do certain experiments and I'm going to tell you what type of questions you will get. Okay, and stay safe till then. Have a good day, and if you have any problem, WhatsApp group is there, so kindly put in your queries there. God bless you.